Good evening, friends. I am Sister Rubini CTC. Welcome to Weekly Roundup. At the Angelus Prayer in St. Peter's Choir on Sunday, the Holy Father reminded the faithful that every person was precious in God's eyes. Reflecting on the Gospel, he encouraged believers to focus on what truly mattered and to rediscover God's love through prayer, reflection, and daily encounters with Christ. The Pope invited the faithful to entrust their lives to God's care, reminding them that faith grew through listening and openness to God's Word. On Monday, the Pope met with leaders of the Neo-Catechumenal Way, thanking them for their missionary commitment across the world. He urged them to remain builders of unity within the Church and witnesses of the Gospel through humility and joy. Meanwhile, Church leaders in the United States emphasized that foreign policy decisions must uphold human dignity, peace, and religious freedom, echoing the Holy Father's call for moral responsibility in global affairs. On Tuesday, attention focused on the Church's ongoing commitment to care for the sick, promote Christian unity, and foster peace. Preparations continued for the World Day of the Sick as Church leaders reaffirmed the importance of compassion, solidarity, and spiritual closeness to those who suffered. The Vatican also highlighted renewed efforts toward ecumenical dialogue, stressing that unity among Christians remains essential in a divided world. During weekday's weekly general audience, the Holy Father reflected on God's revelation, reminding the faithful that believers were called into a living relationship as God's beloved children. The Pope also renewed his appeal for peace and Christian unity, especially during the week of prayer for Christian unity, urging Christians to be credible witnesses of reconciliation. Later in the day, the Pope blessed 2 lambs on the feast of Saint Agnes, continuing an ancient tradition connected to the making of palliums of newly appointed metropolitan archbishops. On Thursday, bishops participating in the Holy Land Coordination Pilgrimage issued a strong appeal for peace, dialogue, and solidarity with Christian communities suffering from ongoing conflict. Vatican media received international recognition for its efforts in promoting peace through responsible communication. Addressing Catholic media professionals, the Pope encouraged journalists to amplify voices of reconciliation and to communicate with integrity in a time marked by division and rapid technological change. The Vatican also renewed its appeal for humanitarian support for Ukraine, urging the international community not to remain indifferent to suffering. On Friday, the Holy Father approved several decrees advancing causes for beatification and recognizing heroic virtue, highlighting lives marked by faith, sacrifice, and service. In a message to a social doctrine conference, the Pope reaffirmed that Catholic social teaching offered a path toward peaceful coexistence, justice, and respect for human dignity. The Pope also sent a message to participants in the March for Life in the United States, encouraging the protection of human life at every stage. Meanwhile, Vatican officials reiterated the importance of defending workers' rights within Vatican institutions, and reflections continued on the significance of Christian unity during the week of prayer for Christian unity. That is all for the weekly roundup. Thank you for listening. I am Sister Rubini CTC. For more stories and in-depth coverage, you could visit Vatican News. Thank you for listening.